So, hello everyone, welcome. I am a little bit early. We've got a few minutes until it's 3 o'clock and we're going to get started. There we are. I spent the whole morning doing drawings and sketches already, so I can quickly show you all the different things I've been working on. I created this and this. More flowers. I'm thinking of doing a floral sort of flower painting course. So where's the rest of my pictures? I think I might have put them away. Here. So I spent the whole morning practicing and brainstorming and coming up with ideas of what we could do in this course. So I hope you've had a creative morning as well. I had a lot of fun creating these and getting ready. So I think we'll slowly get started with our sketches. I know it's a little bit early, but it's okay, I think. Yeah, so I've had a lot of fun painting florals. I'm feeling very spring-like all morning, and then this gloomy landscape. I love painting florals. This one is still a little bit wet. I love painting florals. It's a lot of fun to do, and it fits perfectly with this time of year when, at least here in the UK, it starts to feel really spring-like and really, like the season is starting. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm just quickly making sure everything is working. So there we go. And I can just share this a few times and then we're going to get started. So I hope everyone's well. I feel so much better than I did yesterday. You have no idea how much better I feel. I was quite ill still last week, wasn't I? You remember my voice was all gone. So yeah, I'm much better today. I'm really looking forward to doing some art with you. So I can see there's a few people joining in now. Wonderful. That is fantastic. And someone's emailing me. Well, I think I will respond to that later. Let's start with our first sketch. You can see the reference picture is already there on screen. And what we're going to do today is a little bit similar to what we did last week. We're going to sketch animals in ink, and this is the sketches that we made last week. So let's have a quick look. You can see these are the sketches that we did last week. Ocean animals. And today I was thinking maybe we can sketch different type of birds, flying animals. So I started with this little baby swan. So let me put my clip on the corner of my page and let's get started. So I'm quickly checking if everyone's here. You can find all the reference photos that I'm using on my Pinterest board, which I have linked in the chat and also in the description of this video. So if you want to have a look at the reference pictures yourself now or later on, you can find them there. And I'm going to use my fountain pen again because I really enjoyed drawing with fountain pen the last few times, and I decided to just carry on with that. So let's zoom in a bit more. There we go. So, wonderful. So I'm going to start really simple. This is my first pen drawing of today. And you can see that my approach to sketching is really sort of loose. I really want to create things that not necessarily are perfect. I really like to just have it's more about the process than about creating the perfect sort of sketch or the perfect drawing. So let's add in a little bit of shadow here. And then this is the beak. So there we go. And it's really fun to draw in pen especially after painting on watercolors all morning. I love using different mediums and different materials, and I always try and switch it up and try different things. And I don't really like sort of picking one thing and then sticking with it sort of forever. And you'll notice that if you sort of see the courses and stuff that I create as well, I really like to mix it up and create courses in different mediums. And what I basically do is just pick a subject that sort of appeals to me in a moment, and then I study it and I work on it, and then I create a course from it when I'm ready. So rather than to sort of think, oh, what do people want to learn and what's sort of going to be popular, and I know it's maybe not always the most sort of sort of commercial thing to do, but I just create things that I like to create and that bring me joy and that I want to spend time on, things that I want to do more of. So there we go, a little bit more shadows there. And if you're joining in today, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know where you're from. And I'd also really appreciate it if you could share this video on Facebook or on Instagram with your friends, with people that you think might like it, because I'm really trying to grow a little bit today and see if I can grow my channel a little bit. So if you can help me with that, that'd be absolutely wonderful. Am I doing the duck today? I can do, if I can see if I can find a duck. This is like a little baby swan, and or cygnet, I think a baby swan is called. And then maybe I will add in a duck as well. I was thinking of doing birds today, so let me have a look and see if I can find one. So there we go. I think this is a really lovely first sketch, and I'm going to start adding in a little bit of water as well. It's got really lovely to see you here. If you struggle finding it, Linda, it's every week at the same time, just here on my channel. You don't need a special login or a code or anything. Just every week at 3 o'clock UK time. I don't know what time it is where you are, but every week at 3 o'clock UK time I am going live here, unless there's a special reason why I cannot make it. Sometimes there's something that happens, but it's always in the same place and always at the same time. So I'm adding in a little bit of water to that sketch. There we go. I love adding water to ink. I think it's the most wonderful sort of magic that happens when you add water to your ink sketches. There we go. I know I share this on Eventbrite as well as a free event, but that's just to let people know about it and to give people a heads up that I am doing these events, because you don't need to have the Eventbrite ticket to join in. You can just join in. Every week is free and I love having people here. So yeah, let's pick another animal. I always find it amazing that people join in from all over the world. What is this? I like this bird. It's like a crane bird. So let me pin it. Make sure that you can see it okay. Make it a little bit larger. So, there we go. Actually, if I can, this one a little bit bigger. So, and let me save that to that board. There we go. So whilst this swan is drying, I'm going to start my second sketch. Just here next to it. So, and this is a very sort of delicate bird, very slim sort of the shapes. So I want to make sure I can keep that vibe in the sketch. So there we go. So these are some of the wings. So there we go. And it's okay if your sketch is a bit messy. We're not looking for hyper realism. We're trying to capture a bit of the essence of this bird more than anything else. So let the wings go off the page a little bit there. So there we go. It's quite a complicated pose, isn't it? This bird has a lot of movement in it. Shall I zoom out a little bit? There we go. I don't have like favorite animals that I draw. I say that there's a few that I really like drawing. I really love drawing owls. I think owls and bird of prey are just the most beautiful animals, and I draw them a lot. Other animals that I draw a lot is big cats, tigers, lions, jaguars, all that sort of big cat-like animals. I really love drawing those. And but other than that, I think any animal I find fun to draw, and I love drawing these sort of slightly more like poses with a bit more movement in it, and poses where there's a little bit of a challenge. So. See if I can get some roundness here in that chest. There we go. Do you see how my lines are a bit messy? I don't necessarily just put one line down and then that's it. I try and just explore a little bit and go over each area a few times until I'm happy with the shape. So there we go. I was actually also thinking, so I've been thinking about different courses that I want to run this year, and I had some sort of personal things happening in my life that sort of stopped me from creating courses in the beginning of this year. But I feel like now I'm sort of back. I feel more ready to start creating things again, and I'm thinking of doing a color pencil wildlife drawing course, which is more of an sort of detailed how to draw animals in color pencil. I love drawing in coloring pencil. So that's the one thing that I am thinking of. And the other one is the spring bouquet flower course, which I've started to create this morning. Two things that I really love making myself and that I really enjoy creating for all of you as well. Should we draw an owl? Should we do one from the front? This one does look a little bit weird. They'll look a little bit artificial, but that doesn't matter. I think this would be quite a good reference picture to draw as well. Yeah, color pencils is wonderful. I love drawing in color pencils. It's probably one of my favorite mediums to use. And it's been a little while since I did any courses in coloring pencil. I have my autumn course, of course, but it's not autumn anymore for a long time. So, there we go. So another bird. Very different shape from this crane. So look at the large shapes first. Focus on the large shapes first before you go into any detail. So, and these little sort of poofy feathers, the eyebrow feathers, they sort of come from the top of the beak. See? So it's like a really nice triangle shape from there. So I have drawn quite a lot of owls in the past. So I'm very familiar with these shapes. And to keep it symmetrical, I tend to add a little bit on one side and then add a little bit on the other side. That way I know that what I'm creating is fairly symmetrical. So there we go. So I'm just having fun with these lines. See if anyone has any questions. I think these sort of exercises that we're doing here are really great for like practicing your drawing skills. And of course there's a lot of different ways to make art, and drawing is only one of them. There's a lot of painting that you can do without having, without being great at drawing. But the easier it is to draw something, the easier it is to transfer that into like painting, or even if you want to do something abstract. If you do have some drawing skills, it just makes everything a little bit easier. So it's quite a great skill to practice, and by these sort of sketchbook sessions, they are great for practicing your drawing skills and just your hand-eye coordination and how seeing a picture and then transferring that onto the paper in a fairly sort of realistic way, or where the proportions are the same. It's really a matter of practice. So I do quite a lot of courses where people don't really need drawing skills. Like I do an abstract landscape painting course, for example, watercolor painting course, where we paint abstract landscapes, and you really don't need to have any drawing skills for that. But still to see, like, it's not only about the physical movement of putting something on the paper, it's also the fact that you can see something and then know what parts of that picture or that landscape or whatever you see in front of you are important, and what things you want to put on the paper, what catches your attention, and what parts to leave out. Because a big part of making art, drawing, painting, like visual art, is making choices and simplifying things. Like, what is it that you want to add to the paper, and what is it that you leave out? Because often the white of the paper is just as important as the picture itself. Like, for example, in these floral paintings that I was making earlier, leaving white of the paper to shine through is just as important as where I add the paint. It adds just as much as the drawing or the painting does in that particular area. And that's something that counts for abstract as well as for realism, for animals, for landscapes, for anything. So that is something that you can really practice by doing these sort of sessions as well. Quick and loose drawings. So, make a huge difference. So, there we go. I quite like this little owl. So, adding in a little bit more sort of shadows here, maybe making the beak a little bit narrower. Shall I add some water to it? Are we ready for that? So I use my water-filled brush. It looks very green, doesn't it? I probably have to clean it at some point. But I'm using this water-filled brush, but I have a pot of water here, so I'm not actually using it to, I don't squeeze it to use the water that's in it. I just find it a nice brush to use for these sessions. But I have a pot of water here as well. So I need to decide where my water is going to sit and what areas I keep dry. So I was thinking of recording another podcast this afternoon. I did a few podcasts with guests again recently, and I was thinking of just doing a solo podcast. I think my voice is back, because I was planning to do this last week, but my voice was so gone, there was just no way I could record a podcast. So there we go. Just seeing how everyone is doing. Let's pick another animal. So let's have a quick look. See what we have created so far. So, shall I pick another bird? I'll bring this back. So let me pick another bird. I like doing things a little bit in themes. You asked for a duck, didn't you? I like this one. So There we go. I think that will fit in quite nicely here. So just slowly and steadily carrying on. And remember that I always love seeing everything that people create. So if you have drawings that you'd love to share with me, you can do so on Facebook or Instagram, or by emailing them to me. Always love seeing them. So I think I'll make this duck a little bit more sort of upright. So just to make sure it fits. So, and of course I want to add in these colors that we see. So say the wing sort of here, and then it has a bit of a white sort of stripe here. So you can see I've really loosely copied the reference photo. I'm almost just making it up in a way that it fits on my paper. So there we go. These type of ducks are really common here in the UK. I don't know if they are everywhere in the world, but you see them very often here. When you sort of go to any pond, there's always loads of these in there. So let's add some water. So if I add the water to darker areas, so the more ink I've used, the darker it is going to be where I've added the water. It always dries up in quite a different color as well, doesn't it? So we have loads of birds in our garden at the moment. Loads and loads and loads. So, there we go. A little duck. This sketchbook is a Seawhite of Brighton sketchbook. And it's 100 pages, I think 95 pages maybe. So it's very thick, lots of pages, and I think it works best with pen and ink. That's sort of my favorite material in it. I have used some other materials as well, like some mixed media and some other, some paint and some other things, but I think just generally speaking it works best with pen and ink. But yeah, I think it's a great sketchbook for sort of affordability and at the same time quite good sort of quality for that. If you want to have a sketchbook with lots of pages where you can just draw in and you don't have to worry about the paper being super expensive or being precious, things like that, then it's I would really recommend it. So, which is also why I use it sort of as my messy sketchbook, because I'm not too worried about I'm not too precious about it, if that makes sense. Also, I like the fact that it's square. I was sort of resisting the square part of the I was resisting the square sort of shape. I always thought I wanted a longer one, but now I have a square shape. I actually really like it. It's Seawhite of Brighton. Is the name of the sketchbook. Okay, I can put it in the chat. Seawhite of. So. And that brand Seawhite of Brighton does quite a lot of different type of sketchbook. They have some watercolor sketchbooks as well. Actually, my little sort of watercolor sketchbook is also from the same brand. This is also a Seawhite of Brighton sketchbook, but this is with watercolor paper, so that is a little bit more useful for doing line and wash and colorful drawings. Although you can see I use ink in it quite often as well. But they do lots of different sizes and shape sketchbooks. There we go. Let me add some water to this little bird as well. So, there we go. I think that might be enough. A very loose little sketch. There. I think maybe just a tiny little robin. I feel like I have a little bit more space on my paper to add in some smaller birds. So, just making sure that that fits. Do you notice that that my sketches sort of get looser and looser the further we are in this hour? I tend to start quite carefully, and then after a little bit of sketching, my sketches become wonkier and wonkier and looser, which is actually something that I enjoy. Hey, lovely to see you. I am very well, thank you. So, there we go. Is anyone drawing along today? Anyone sketching this morning, afternoon, depends on where you are. So, there we go. I created a bit of art for a rare diseases sort of awareness project recently, which was a lot of fun. So I've been painting quite big on canvases recently. That's part of what I've been really busy with. I love painting on canvas. Get a lot of joy out of it. You want to see if I can quickly find it. I actually don't know if I can. Just see if I can quickly find it. If anyone is curious. Here here on my photos. So this is one of the pictures that I made for that exhibition. It's very different from the pictures that I'm making here. Yeah, so this is one of them. It's quite a large canvas, and this is the second one. So this is going to be exhibited in London next month. Very different from my sketchbook work or my art classes. So back to some bird sketching. There was a little bit of intermittent art sharing. So it's like a little woodpecker type bird, I think. There we go. Do I have a bit of space for this still, or shall I go to the next page? I think I can find a little spot here somewhere. So maybe here. So yeah, so I work in a lot of different mediums and in a lot of different styles, and the type of art that I do for different projects, there's always a lot of variety in that. And that's something that I really like. I do it on purpose. I love creating art in different styles and in different ways. But it also makes it a little bit harder to sort of market myself sometimes, if that makes sense. I think if you do one thing and that's sort of a really clear sort of thing that you do, then people understand it a bit better. So, but then I love doing lots of different things, so I do it on purpose. I just really enjoy working in different mediums and for different organizations and things like that. So yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. So there we go. The page is getting quite full, isn't it? Do I have space for another bird? Maybe one here? I really like the idea of just filling up the page with all these different animals. Maybe this one. Though that tail, that won't really fit with it. I like this as well. Maybe just the sort of face with that crown. So there we go. Adding it to my list. If you want to find it, remember you can find it on the on the Pinterest board that I have linked. So it's not too busy here today. I always find that there's a lot of people watching these afterwards as well. Usually there's a few hundred people sort of who watch these videos by the end of the week. And yeah, I love it. I do sometimes do cross-hatching. Yeah, you're right about that. It's a really good way of quickly adding a bit of shadows and texture. So if I do a bit here, so it's a really great way of adding in a little bit of shadows to an area. So these little in-between birds, I need to be a bit more careful with adding water, because otherwise everything is just going to become very blurry and mixed up. So I'm trying to be a little bit more conscious with how much water I add. Do I have a little bit more space somewhere? Maybe here? I also have a bit of space here, but then I have that fold, which is a bit annoying. So if I have a bird that looks the other way, I think that might be a bit easier. So there's a bit more space on this side. So let me do this sort of cockatoo here. So, what is everyone doing for the rest of the day? Are you going to carry on with doing a bit more art after this, or what is your plan? So. There we go. I am planning to do some exercise after this because I have a very sedentary job. I always sit down a lot. Either painting or behind my computer doing things. And I need to make a conscious effort of moving and being out and about. So I'm going to do some exercise after this, and then there is an artist meet up with other people in the creative industries who live in the town where I live in. So we're all going to meet up, and so it's a bit like networking, friends, meeting friends. So that's my plan for tonight. So there we go, a little cockatoo. Look at this one. That is, I don't know what that is for birds, but that's an interesting one, isn't it? But I'm looking for one that looks in a different direction. Maybe this one that fits here. I think this might be a good picture for in between. Yeah, finding other artists in an area where you live is a really great way of sort of being motivated and to find opportunities as well. We often share things if we hear about opportunities sort of arising, and it's just a fantastic way of getting to know other artists in an area. And people genuinely like to meet up, so we do this quite often. There we go. It's quite a full page today, isn't it? So there we go, some just simple lines. I think my page might be full. Do I have any more space anywhere? I think I might struggle a little bit adding in any more. I think the combination between having some of these really sort of blurry with the water and then having some of these later pictures a bit more precise because I left the lines in. I really like that combination, something that I really enjoy. So actually, let me remove this for a moment, and now we can see it. There we go. I think I'm going to say this is finished. We have a very full page. It's all a little bit damp, it needs to dry. Thank you so much for joining in. Oh, hey, really lovely to see you, Abigail. Thank you for your kind words. That is really lovely. We come together every Thursday at the same time to a sketchbook together. So always at 3 o'clock, and then usually for something between half an hour and an hour. I want to show people that you can do some sketchbooking and can make some art without having to have lots of time sort of dedicated to it. You can just fit it in sort of throughout your day. So thank you so much for joining in, everyone. As I said, if you don't mind sharing my videos, I'd really love that. I'm trying to get a little bit more reach with my channel and see if I can grow that a little bit as well. So if you don't mind, if you have a video that is your favorite, please share it on Facebook or Instagram. And thank you so much for joining in, and take care of yourself. And I'll see you all next week or in one of my courses. So I'll see you all soon. Bye bye. Take care.